Hi, and thanks for stopping by. To my regular viewers and subscribers, thanks for your support and your interest, and welcome back. To anybody who hasn't visited my channel before or seen a few of my videos, most of the stuff I do is a bit random. It's things that tend to interest me, like amateur radio, kayaking, and that sort of stuff. Perhaps you'll find something on my channel of interest, and if you do, I'd appreciate thumbs up, a like, subscribe, that sort of stuff. Anyway, let's get to it. What we've got here are 4 different radios, and I'm just going to run through a quick audio test or a receive audio test on each of these rigs. Just to introduce them one at a time, what we've got here is the IC91ad, which is a Icom D-Star radio. The second one in line is my latest acquisition, which is also an Icom and also a D-Star radio. That's the ID51a. Getting towards the back of the line is the Yaesu vx8dr. Now, I've had this for quite a while. This is my radio that I take camping and hiking and all that sort of stuff. It's rugged in construction and waterproof, as is the ID51, which is part of the reason or part of the motivation for the purchase. Great little radio, that one. That's been everywhere with me, and I've had that for quite a while. And last in the lineup is actually a scanner or a receiver. This is the GRE psr500. So this is a scanner rather than a transceiver, so no transmit on this one. This also does digital P25, so I can monitor the emergency frequencies locally, albeit that most of those have gone to digital now. So I monitor those on the GRN. Very handy this was in a recent storm that we had about a month back in the Newcastle area. So very handy, and I think I'll keep that one. So what I've got dialed up on each of these is 124.800, which is a control tower, airport, which is I believe up in Brisbane, but it's rebroadcast down here, so I get reasonable reception. Now, keeping in mind that this, whilst it will impact on the audio quality, this is not going to be based on received qualities. They do have different antennas on them, and I'm going to pop a larger antenna on this 91 just to give it a better chance to get a signal there, rather than just that little stubby little antenna, which you'll see there. The reason I have this one on, or use this one,
0, zero forecast available, and 0 forecast 040.
Okay, let's just stop for a second, see if we get a response.
Taxi, starting 4 leave more on my 36. X324 Brisbane, Santana, reported off traffic, squawk 6017. Squawk 6017, X324.
Okay, so we're going to take the opportunity while we can, because I don't know when they're going to broadcast and when we're going to get a chance to pick up a signal. So that's the 91. Now, there is a little bit of vibration in that. Now, I don't know whether that's standard to all of the 91s. I don't believe it is, and that tends to be when the volume's turned up quite loud. As far as normal transmission goes, on FM repeaters and that sort of stuff, and on D-Star, I find the audio out of this to be excellent. Basically, no complaints. Really enjoy this radio. Excellent on D-Star, and to be honest, I think anybody who wants to get in D-Star can't go wrong with one of these radios. Certainly, I've moved on to the 51 there behind it, but I've been really happy with this. And to be honest, had I realised, I guess, some of the functionality or the limited functionality for my uses on the 51, I may not have gone ahead with that purchase, and I may have just stuck with the 91. But we'll talk to that a little bit later. Now these, I'm going to just turn up the 51 here in the background, because that's going to be the one we're going to listen to next, and hopefully we'll get a transmission and we can get an audio sample there. In the meantime, let's just talk about the radios themselves. So the 91 is really rugged. It's a really solid case on it. I think the back section is, look, I'm going to have to say, I think it's just a plastic. I don't think that's metal construction, but it's a really, really solid case, really, really rugged. all of these with the exception of the dual.
Center, queuing 34, maintaining flight level 180. Queuing 34, when ready, descent, flight level 130. When ready, flight level 130, queuing 34. Queuing 193, contact me out, 124.8.
Okay, so that was a 51 that just come through, and as you can hear, the audio quality on that is outstanding, and to be honest, it's probably the best of all of these four radios, regardless of whether it be the scanner or the HTs. There's quite a bit of control that you've got over the audio that comes out of the 51. There's actually a 2-band equalizer on it, so for treble and bass. You can also do a bass boost, but I found with the bass boost on the 51, I don't actually like the audio that comes out of it. The 2-band equalizer on the 51 also works on your transmit. Independently, you can set those for receive and transmit, so you can have a play around a little bit with that. By default, the gain on the microphone for the internal microphone is actually set to 2, and I find that to be too low, and I've had some feedback on FM and on D-Star to say that the audio was very, very low on this. So what you've actually got to do is when you get these, just turn your audio gain or your mic gain up to 4, or your mic level up to 4 in this, and you won't have any more problems. And I found that others have had the same issue with that. I think it'll basically comes down to the fact that this is waterproof. I think it's IPX7 or something along those lines. So, you know, down to a meter for about 30 minutes. And so you've got a waterproof membrane that covers the microphone. Let's see if you can get a view of that. Not sure whether you can see that. Just in this microphone here, there is actually a little white cover there. Now that denotes an upgrade from some of the original ones, which I believe had a black membrane, and people complained of muffled audio, etc. On transmit. But luckily this has got the white one, so that's had the improvement, and I don't have any issues with transmit audio quality. Okay.
Showing reasonable at time 55. X344 identified area QNH1027. 1027 to X344.
Okay, so that's the VX8dr. Little things about the audio with this one. The audio is quite low, I found, and I know others have mentioned the same sort of feedback, especially in the higher bands. You'll notice on this one I've actually got it up at 30. It maxes out at 32, so you can see that there. I've got the spectrum analyzer on, which I quite like. I'm going to turn that down to about 20. We'll see whether we get a transmission. But so there you go. So you got that transmission. That was on 2/3, so it was on about 20. Goes up to 32. And I find the audio's, yeah, a little bit low as far as volume goes. So that's a little bit disappointing. What I've actually found when I use that, I do use the external microphone, the speaker mic, which has the GPS unit on it for APRS, and that improves the audio a great deal. That being said, you shouldn't have to go and buy an external speaker mic to get good audio out of these. Something that's quite good though is you do have an earplug on the side here. This is also waterproof, and again, part of the motivation for buying this one. You got the speaker socket on the side. Not sure whether the light's getting that. There it is. Now the output on this, as far as broadcast goes, is excellent. So you actually, you know, receive your normal broadcast radio stations, your FM radio stations, and your AM actually, and the receive with the headset in there is excellent, really excellent. It's stereo sound to your headphones or your in-ear earbuds, so that's quite good. Albeit that I tend to find I rarely use that functionality at all. Now, comparing that to the ID51, oops, there we go. I do find that the audio is a little bit tinnier, and doesn't have, I guess, the body that you get out of the ID51. This again has the best audio out of all of them. Alright, sounds like we're getting a broadcast. Let's pop the volume up here on the scanner.
36 confirmed. Down X 226, descent flight level 150. Descent flight level 150, 226.
Okay, so the audio on that is quite good. I'm going to have to say that I think it's better than the 91. And volume-wise, you can get this quite loud, which is really good, because obviously with a scanner, you're not just listening to one frequency or one transmission, so you can get a variety of volumes. So having that sort of level of volume control.
344, contact me now, 120.3.
Here we go. So having that level of control over the volume there is excellent, and having been able to turn it up quite loud to pick up low volume transmissions is awesome. Look, that's pretty much it. Just to get around to, I guess, a conclusion. Out of all of these, again, the ID51, the audio is just absolutely brilliant, and I believe that that audio quality is also replicated through the transmitted audio as well. Second, look, I think I'd probably have to go with the scanner because of the sheer volume that it pumps out. The audio quality is excellent, but again, compared to the ID51, the bass performance just isn't there, or the lower tones just don't come out, and you can see how small that speaker is on the bottom of the ID51. Yep, so scanner, the GRE psr500 comes next. To pick a third, it's going to be really hard. I think these two are probably going to be a tie. This, I get a little bit of vibration out if I turn the volume up quite loud. If the audio signal isn't just completely pure, I get quite a bit, I wouldn't say quite a bit, I get a little bit of vibration out of that. That could be the radio is getting a little bit older, or maybe the speaker starting to grow a little bit. And the reason I'd probably say it's on par with the vx8dr is that the audio volume is just really down on this, and that's quite disappointing, because the reason I got this radio, or part of the way that I use this radio is when I'm hiking or I'm camping or something like that. So I really want to be able to just put this on my hip and forget about it and be able to hear what's going on. The problem is with this and the audio volume that you can get out of it, it's just really not possible, especially if you're in the higher bands up in around 70 centimeters. The audio volume seems to drop even more, so that's really a little bit disappointing. So unless you're going to be using the speaker microphone, having this up on your clips to your backpack or something like that, so you can speak into it and you can get the speaker pumping out right near your ear. Yeah, this is a little bit disappointing for such a radio, keeping in mind that this again is waterproof to the same standard that the ID51 is, but they definitely get a louder volume out of the ID51, and they've done really well as far as receive audio for this unit. A lot of really good things going for this radio. I mean, as is the vx8dr. I think I like both of these radios possibly equally. This one does APRS this one does APRS. This one does DPRS, so I don't think the ID51 is ever going to replace a VX8 for me, and I think I'm going to have to keep both of these in the stable. That means the old 91's going to get let go of, but again, had I known what I know now, or if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have just kept the 91 and probably not got the ID51. Not that there's anything wrong with the 51, absolutely love it, but some of the functionality that I was expecting, as per some of the videos that I'd seen, just doesn't work the way I want it, or certainly not for the way I'm going to use the radio. I could have just kept the 91 and been happy as a pig in mud. Okay, so that's it. That's all I'm going to do today. Just running through the audio quality of all those. Again, the ID51 comes out in front in my mind, and really impressed with the quality of audio that I get out of a HT. A few things that are going to be coming up, probably do just a few comparisons and between each of these radios, and a couple of things that I've learnt as far as the 51 goes that I just touched on as far as functionality goes and the way I'm going to use this radio. If you've got any questions or is there anything you want to see in the meantime or anything you want me to focus on in upcoming videos, certainly shoot me a message, drop me a comment and the like, and I'll do my best to include it in the next video. Cheers guys, thanks again.